Hello. I bet you could hear from my voice that I'm a little sick. I developed a sore throat just a little bit on the right or on the left side last or 3 days ago. And I knew that it's going to be kind of colds or flu or something. It would turn out that way. And yeah, here it is. I have colds. I'm very prone to colds. Um, so this all ties up to what I had last week, which is my observation feedback with my senior teacher. She observed my lesson, and of course, as it is with feedback, they give you positive feedback and negative feedback. Um, my problem is not in the feedback actually, but it's more on the format or in the system that they have in our school. And I work in a language center, and as you know, language centers are business model, and the feedback that they follow is more on that um, positive, negative feedback, and they tend to be directive. They um, they don't do collaborative. At least that's what I noticed. It's not a collaborative feedback where the teacher identifies the weakness and then they work through it. It's more like them looking into what should be developed in the lesson and then directing the teacher to do that. And I have a kind of problem with that. And at the same time, they're also prescriptive. When we say prescriptive, it's them who will find the solution to the problem. And that is not the kind of observation feedback, which is ideal in empowering teachers and inspiring them as well. That kind of system creates resistance. And so that's what our school has. I've been working there for 6 months and I've noticed that that's what they do because this is my second observation feedback. And every time I leave the meeting room, I would feel stressed and unmotivated compared to the previous observations I had in my old workplace. I'd feel empowered. I feel inspired because they knew how to give a feedback. And yes, so that was so stressful for me that the night of the observation feedback, I woke up at like 3 a.m. in the morning and can't go back to sleep. My head is still wrapped in the observation, although I've meditated before the sleep. And what I did was to sit down and write down how I felt about that with the intention of, schooling them how they should how they should deliver a feedback session to teachers. That made me feel better because, it gave me the moral superiority, I guess, because I knew how an observation feedback would look like. Thankfully, I stepped back and then I asked ChatGPT to make it more formal for me or make the tone more neutral for me. I haven't sent it yet. Uh, I'll wait for the opportunity to be able to give a feedback and maybe make my intention purer, because I guess in that state of emotionality, my intention was to prove them that they're wrong, that they're doing something wrong, that they should do this thing that I know which is more helpful, and I was trying to get back at them. But yeah, I wanted to let that mature a bit and make the intention more on providing support for teachers and empowering them rather than being the righteous, more experienced teacher. I'm more experienced than you, my boss, something like that. But yeah, so, and then after that, yeah, I felt this pain on my throat. And I thought, oh, this is going to develop into a fever, so I better go for acupuncture. So I looked for an acupuncture place near. nearby work, and I found one. But when I went there, it wasn't acupuncture at all. They did something different. But yeah, it's a traditional Asian or Eastern medicine. And of course, they checked my pulse. They also checked my blood pressure and other vital signs. And then the doctor said he's very compassionate. I could feel that he's being very sincere with what he's doing. And he said that everything's okay, my pulse, my blood pressure, and he also checked on my stress on my back. He did some massage, and then eventually he said that you were upset the previous days, and you were angry, and that's the reason why you have some tension over here. And I laughed because yes, that's true. I actually was very angry. I was very disappointed and frustrated. And if you're someone who's learning about the throat chakra, you know that you have a knot here or a difficulty here when you have a difficulty in communication or in expressing yourself. And I always regarded myself as someone who's able to express herself in different forms in writing, in poetry, or in the creative things that I do. But yes, that came as a big realization to me that it's actually true. I'm very much of a people pleaser, and I don't express what I want to say because I don't want them to see me as impolite or someone who is not respectful. Not respectful. It's a very Southeast Asian kind of attitude, trying to save the face or people pleasing or being passive aggressive. And yeah, I kind of agree with the doctor. And so they did this therapy to me. It's like a cupping, but in a modern way. And they run a cup in my back. So I've got like bruises, 3 lines of bruises on my back and on my shoulder, which was all right. I did not feel the relief that I would feel from an acupuncture treatment, and I think that's why it also progressed. But anyway, just let it go. It was a good experience. I'll probably won't go back there again because I would still look for that relief from acupuncture treatments whenever I feel something imbalance in my body. So yeah, um, lots of thought about acceptance lately whenever I meditate and pass my attention to my throat. When you're sick, you always try to resist it or resist your body, resist the pain because it's stopping you from doing something. Well, for me, it's stopping me from doing work. I'm contemplating of canceling my class this afternoon. And yeah, that takes off away from you, and then you feel stressed that plans don't go your way because your body is saying no. um yeah, and resistance is resistance keep the blockage, let's say, hard. And while meditating, I've been trying to accept wherever my body is at the moment, or my throat is at the moment, if it's feeling painful. But it's very difficult. It's easy to do it while doing the meditation, being very accepting. But when you're about to do your work, when you sit in the computer, you know that you're not comfortable, and you resist whatever is happening, and you identify with the pain, you identify with the resistance. And it's not as easy as I would think it would be. And yeah, There's a lot of things to learn about acceptance, actually. Um, it's even with simple sickness like flu or like colds, um, it makes you realize how immature you still are, how immature I still am. And yes, compared to that resistance that I did with my senior teacher while she was giving me the feedback, of course, I frowned. I didn't give her a very pleasing response. I mean, not verbally, but with my body language, I was very resistant, which is just about right because, of course, they're not coming from the most compassionate approach. But yeah, the result of that in my body became so much more pronounced because I was resisting that at that moment. And so maybe that's the reason why I have these colds right now, because it manifested in my throat, the communication part. I tried to not express myself authentically. I suppress what I was wanting to express. And now I'm continuously resisting what I'm feeling. I'm continuously resisting my colds. And although I think I'm being accepting of myself, it's still making me humble that I'm actually not. I am so hard on myself. And it's a very big lesson on awareness, because if I'm not aware that this is happening, then it could go on habitually. Like, it would be, I'd copy the same template. I'm pretty sure this is my template from before when dealing with with conflicts in the past, and it's going to be my template again if I'm not aware about accepting myself and letting go. So yeah, we'll see about the feedback, my feedback to the observation feedback. I hope that it's going to develop into a more mature intention, really to help teachers and not to prove my righteous endeavor that I'm the right one. So I hope you guys are well, and I hope you picked up something from this kind of experience. And I hope you be more accepting to yourself as well, wherever you are at the moment. So be well, be happy, and I'll see you later in the park. When I feel better, I'll go clean up again. Bye.